Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. This week is a big week in the city of brotherly love. We're heading up to Parx Racetrack. We have the $1 million Pennsylvania Derby. Going along with that, we have the return of Torpedo Anna going in the Cotillion. So I'm going to have preview videos for both of those today. Also coming soon is some early Breeders' Cup Classic contenders videos and previews of that nature. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for joining me. Viewer support, always very important to me. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button while you're at it. Comments are always welcome. Tell me your early leans on either race, Cotillion or Pennsylvania Derby. We're going to start with the Penn Derby. Then next video will be the Cotillion. So let's get started. Okay, race number 13 is the mile and an eighth Pennsylvania Derby, grade 1 for 3-year-olds. Post position number 1 is Doc Sullivan. Jose Ortiz is the jockey, New York bred colt. Has wins at tracks like Aqueduct and Saratoga, victory in the Mike Lee Stakes down here. 2 back-to-back second finishes were also versus lesser fields. 5th in prime power, which says a little something. Good speed, nothing but 90s in the speed rating, but this is going to be a big jump in class for that horse. So best of luck. Number 2, Seize the Gray, is Dwayne Lucas, Jamie Torres. This one I burst onto the scene. We all remember I had a nice 9-1 win ticket exacta on the Pat Day Mile. I figured him as a horse that could do well versus that field down here. And then really, actually, I kind of got off of him in the Preakness. I didn't think it was the same type of race setup, but evidently he didn't care. He burst out and took him wire to wire all the way and went all the way home for the 105 Brisnet number, running really, really big time numbers right here. But I think that kind of took its toll on him a little bit. Did not run too awfully bad in the Belmont Stakes. Was on the lead until almost the turn and then just kind of tired out and gave way. And in my opinion, probably should have went ahead and took a break. Then probably could have come back and tried the Travers, but Dwayne run him one more time after just a brief layoff and didn't really show up much in the Jim Dandy, drifted out and just wasn't on the level with Fierceness and Sierra Leone and Batten Down and all those horses that day. So coming off fresh 56-day layoff, should be good. Arrogate sire, solid chance in the race to bounce back, I'd say. Now, next up is Lonesome Boy. Won the City of Brotherly Love Stakes at Parx back in March. Returned off the layoff August 24th, though. Failed to respond going 6.5 furlongs here. Don't give him much of a shot. Does have some early speed. I don't know if he'll be on the pace or not, but I'll probably make a pass on this one. Time out is Bill Mott and Joel Rosario. Had a promising start to his racing career. 1 win, several notable placings. He's competed in 5 races, consistently finishing in the top 3. Third behind Unmatched Wisdom in the Curlin Stakes. 2 back. So some solid 95 speed figures in the last couple. So could be in the mix somewhere. Number 5 is a bit of an unknown to me. It's Todd Pletcher's and Repo Stables, Irad Ortiz rides, Protective. Well, this horse was just thrown into the Derby trail before even breaking his maiden. So did run pretty solid third in the Peter Pan, but then wasn't really much of a challenger in the Belmont. So they decided to try to go back and get that maiden win. And it took 2 more cracks to get there, but does show some good early speed and definitely did so in the maiden win when it was pulled off the turf at Saratoga. So not quite wire to wire, but chased and held safe in a 100K maiden. So this one comes in probably a bit of a long shot. So we'll have to see how that one progresses next time around. Just step on it is Louis Linder and Jose Lascano. This one is kind of an improving colt. He excuse me, set the pace in the Smarty Jones, fought tooth and nail with Gould's Gold before giving away late for second place. Seems to be improving. Was fourth in the Haskell. I know it was a little ways back, but I mean, ran against Dornock, Mindframe, Timberlake, some really, really good horses. I think this is kind of the B team, so to speak. I mean, there is Seize the Gray, who won the Preakness and, some solid horses, but not quite on the level of fierceness your Dornocks and such. So might be somewhere factoring in this race. The optional claiming win at Parx, kind of significant, going a mile. So we'll have to see. It does have some good sire stats and dam stats as far as getting the distance, but probably won't make my final bets. I'm going to have some early looks this time around. I have not quite decided how I want to bet this race. It's only Tuesday, so I'll be back later on in the week with more information to do deeper dives and watch a few more races. But post number 7, your likely favorite, Dragoon Guard, maybe 9-5. Brad Cox, Florent Geroux, obviously 4 straight huge wins, broke the maiden, practically wire to wire, then wired him 3 straight times, optional claiming Indiana Derby, which was very impressive, defeating Stronghold, who I have a high regard for. Defeated Society Man and Dematic in the West Virginia Derby. That was a little bit lesser of a race as far as competition's concerned, in my opinion. But Florence Geroux has this one rolling for Juddamont. So likely favorite for a reason. Unmatched Wisdom is the next one up. This one's going to be a bit of a unknown, I think. Came into the Travers undefeated in 3 races, including a win in the Curlin Stakes. He had a very rough trip in this race. Got bumped at the start pretty good, but loose wrap. And if you don't know, the wraps are obviously the around the ankles of the horses. You see the white tape. Well, the right rear hind leg wrap came loose about 5 furlongs to go, and he dragged it the rest of the way. So basically, it was just a give up race. C7th by 18. So it wasn't much they were going to do against Fierceness, Torpedo Anna, and the like. So bailed out to fight another day. Pratt returns to ride, which I like. You see the wire to wire 99 in the Curlin at Saratoga. So that's going to be second in prime power, but may go overlooked at the window. Could provide us with a possible value play. So next up is Who's the King? This one might help pressure the pace, but it doesn't look like much of a use to me. The 65 in an allowance race in the last out was awful. 4th previous to that in allowance, so no stakes experience. So I will probably pass on this one. Uncle Heavy, another one likely not making the betting card. Just some good speed figures. Basically a presser, plotter, as I feel like he is. Won the Withers at Aqueduct, and Aqueduct is more of a heavier, sandier type track. So that was a good win for him, obviously in the mud as well. So I think he would need sort of a heavier surface to go on. You can see he just hasn't sniffed it. And then dropped to Parx and Smarty Jones and ran 3rd, well beaten behind Just Step On It and Gould's Gold in the race that we were previously discussing. So Uncle Heavy not going to make the betting card either. Now, Stronghold, interesting one. Philip D'Amato, second best to Dragoon Guard in the Indiana Derby. I guess he kind of let Dragoon Guard get loose on him. Was not able to run him down. Did close a little bit in the bid, but just wasn't enough to get there. 90 speed figure. I think he needs to get back to this 98 like he did out in the Sunland Derby and the Santa Anita Derby, where I think is a fast surface, kind of like Parx can be, favoring front runners and whatnot. So I think he can get back up into this 100 early pace and then the 91 closing, because I think he's solid all around, sired by Ghost Sapper. So I'm hopeful if he returns back to this spring form that he had out west, he'll be a very tight competitor. And that's your field. Like I said, track bias stats. I know it's only 9 races, but this same way last year, Saudi Crown practically wired him in the slop last year. It's just a kind of an inside rail speed favoring type surface. You can see 56% of the 9 races, and then 11% early pace. But you can, depending on the conditions and the weather, if it's hot, it's faster. But if it's going to be in the 70s, it could actually bring into play a little bit more off the pace stuff. So let's make some first look selections. I had high hopes with Stronghold on the Derby trail, and he wasn't bad. He did actually run okay in the Derby. He was right amongst the leaders, hitting the top of the stretch, just couldn't hang on. I wasn't sure when he ran in the Indiana Derby. Then he took another layoff right after that. So it was like layoff from the Kentucky Derby, ran the Indiana Derby, took another layoff. So I like the form. Like I said, he showed out west. I think he could be 5-2 morning line, something like that. I think it could be a good value. Probably going to get that down a little bit because if Dragoon Guard starts being 9-5, it was just way too low for me. So front runner, but if money starts coming in on Dragoon Guard, then the reverse will happen, and some of it will start going Stranglehold's way. Like I said, Unmatched Wisdom could be overlooked and a great value play. Sees the Gray could find his form again. Like I said, not sure how I'll play this, but I think I'm leaning right now Stronghold for the win. So we will see how I feel later on this week after I do a little bit deeper dive. And that is your preview for the 2024 Pennsylvania Derby. Remember to sub to the channel, smash that like button. And until next time, this is Billy Ho